Even before the fight started, man, I was like, man, I wish we could have already done this and got this over with, and I could go sit in the stands and, be a fan. Which, I'm about to go take a shower and do that now, anyways. But, this is my 18th UFC fight, so I think everybody who has anything to do with this knows the kind of person and fighter that I am, and I show up every time that I say I'm gonna show up. So. I don't think anybody was like, yo, he bullshitting, he faking or whatever. So everybody, the doctor came and saw me, so everybody, the match, Mick, Dana, all of them, they already know who I am and that if I pull out of a fight, it's something serious. So, I'm just happy that they were able to, run it back and get it lined up and we do it so quickly.
There's a pretty wild fight in there for as long as it lasted. You had a lot of strong moments, especially in that first round, but he dropped you too. So I guess when the fight was actually playing out, or he clipped you, I should say.
There's a banana peel out there. Whoever's in charge of cleaning up in between rounds, I need to talk to them.
So is that a slip and not a drop is what you're saying?
Yeah, man. A little gust of wind out there. It's a little chilly out there,
And you were finding a lot of success with that left hand, even to the point where the people online were like, why is Chris just not blocking that? It just seems like you're just coming down the middle with that left over and over and over. Was that part of the game plan, or you just realized that was working? I'm just going to stick to this.
This is the moneymaker, man. And you've seen any of my fights, I'm trying to land it early and often. So I think the big difference in this fight is I was able to get going sooner. Usually I always drop that first round and then rally in the second and third, But, like I was telling Joe in there, I've had a lot of life changes, a lot of decision changes in my life. So now I think, I'm more mentally clear. So there's just not a lot of clutter in there. So, the week of the fight, the day of the fight, everything just flows so smoothly. I felt great in there. I didn't feel any nerves. I didn't feel any pressure. I didn't feel anything, So I was able to go out there and execute. And, it felt like a sparring match, but, with a lot more implications, But I didn't feel like I was trying to force the left hand. I just felt like I just let things happen and let the fight play out. I wasn't thinking, overthinking, not thinking. It was just, kind of flowing. We didn't drill any takedowns, wrestling a whole lot this camp. But I was able to take him down, hold him down, and especially in that second round, keep him down, and that's what eventually won me the fight.
You didn't do any wrestling preparing for Chris Weidman?
Defense, yeah, of course. I thought that he would wrestle more, and I am constantly. I'm not saying I didn't train wrestling. Of course I did, but because I trained everything, every aspect of the fight, but. It just wasn't a heavy emphasis offensive wrestling. But my coach over here, he was like, yo, if you feel it, you can take him down, go take him down. You can do that. And I think if you watch my fights from my the beginning of my career here in the UFC to now, I'm wrestling a lot more, finishing a lot of takedowns. I've had some fights like Krzysztof Jocko, the Iron Turtle dude, where I'd get him up against the cage but not finish the takedown and, lose a fight that way. So, it's just up here for me.
And, you've been very open with the changes you've made in your life and sobriety and everything, and we don't have to get into the specifics of it, but have you noticed, fans have kind of been reaching out a lot more about their own struggles? Or
Yeah, and, to be honest, that wasn't, my intention. I wasn't trying to be, a beacon of, help and, whatever, but, it's cool to, people want to reach out and be like, yo, what did you do? What was your process? How hard was it? What was the deciding factor? Things like that. And, it's cool to kind of to recognize. And, this isn't just me talking. You can look at my previous fights where, it came down to that and I lost a close decision, So, and then you look at a fight like this where, I'm going out there and getting finishes, Even Jamie Pickett, I kind of did the same thing. Picked him up, took him down. It was on top, battled through some adversity in that fight too. So, it's just a lot less thinking in there and, just doing. And I think when I'm fighting like that, like I did against Kyle Dawkins, like Jamie Pickett, like Chris Weidman, I'm really tough to beat.
Unrelated to your fight, I just want your take on this, but, Dom Reyes was at Media Day, and he said the biggest thing that being a college football player transitioned to MMA was tape study, because, in college football, it's just stop, rewind, even 2 seconds of a play. Do you feel the same? Are you still a big tape guy, watching all that?
Kind of. I probably watch film on Weidman, his last 2 or 3 fights, maybe twice, because at the end of the day, I just need to know what his tendencies are, what he likes to do, his top, 3 or 4, weapons of attack or, how he tries to, win fights and whatnot. But also, like, his mental, when he fought Brad Tavares, dude, Brad Tavares was hitting him with everything. He still kept marching forward, kept going, kept going, kept going. So, I prepared for that guy, But outside of that, I worry about me and focus on me and leave all that other stuff up to my coaches and training partners.
You think your name?
I got, everybody's bought into my dream, my coach. I got a training partner, Ray Waters. He came from Arizona. He's got kids at home that he left for, 8 weeks to come help me train. So, when you got people who are bought into your dream and what you're trying to do, it makes it a lot easier to get where you're going.
You think your name is overlooked when they're talking about best athletes in the UFC? Because
Come on, baby. You talking about a two-sport professional athlete, of course.
Yeah, not everyone has a forced fumble in a national championship.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. I did sign a contract with the Browns, so technically I did play in the NFL. Not for long, but I don't care about stuff like that. But everybody knows what's up, and I've been here a while, so I think sometimes people forget where I come from, but I don't.
I was going to ask that, like, are you more recognized now as Eryk Anders, the UFC fighter, than Eryk?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, when I played football, I had that big, luxurious afro, and now I got the, the high and tight, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I've been doing this a while. This is, it'd be about mid next year, it'd be my 8th year in the UFC. So, I think the average career span here is like 3 fights or a year. So, I've been here for 7.5 years and 18 fights. I'll get to 20, maybe 8 years, and peace out.
Who's winning the national championship this year?
Man, if they fuck around and let Bama in the championship, they stand a chance.
Like 12 teams in the playoffs.
I don't give a damn if there's 100 teams. If Bama's in it, they got a chance.
Eryk, you acted in Cobra Kai, and they just released part 2 of their final season last month. Oh, I'm over here.
Oh, gotcha.
Is watching Cobra Kai going to be part of your victory celebration, and are you open to acting again?
I would love to act. I would love to do like stunt work. I'd love to act. I don't shy away from challenges. When I did that on Cobra Kai, that 1.5-minute fight scene is 2 12-hour days. I had no idea what I was doing. They just said they needed a big Mexican-looking dude, and Don Lee, who they came and were filming something else and used our gym, and that's how I kind of built that relationship. And my coach threw my name in the hat, and he said, "Cool." And then they started using UFC fighters like Wonder Boy, Woodley. So, yeah, I would love to pursue that. It's a lot safer, a lot less damage on the body to do that. And, just something else that I would have to learn how to do and, like, cultivate a skill,
And with the last couple fights of your UFC career, we've seen Zuckerberg corner Volkanovski, Goggins corner Tony Ferguson. Would you ever consider having your former coach Nick Saban in your corner?
Dude, that's a great question. I'm gonna call him tonight and see what he's trying to do. He's usually busy on Saturdays, though. He's got that game day. He's got all this other stuff going on. But maybe for my last hoorah, we bring on Nick to give that pre-fight speech.
What is a Nick Saban pre-game speech sound like?
You got to be there, baby. You got to be there. What happens in there, what he says in there, stays in there. But I guarantee you, he rallies the troops and get them ready to go. You look at his resume and his body of work. He's the GOAT.
Eryk, Brasil, super lutas.
Tudo bem?
Estou bem, você. Man, Brazilians were rooting against Weidman because of the polemic episode against Bruno Blindado Silva. And since you have some bond with this country, do you feel like you avenged Brazil?
Dude, listen, I don't get into other people's beefs. Brazil don't pay my bills. I love Brazil. Rio's my favorite city on planet Earth. And I plan on going back in January. So, but yeah, like how somebody feels about somebody else, I don't got nothing to do with it. I try to keep my feelings out of everything, and make rational decisions. But, I see I got my yellow shorts, my canary yellow one right now. So I love Brazil. It will always forever be a part of my life. And yeah, but it has nothing to do, like, I didn't go out there and be like, for Brazil, and I don't even know Bruno Silva. So, like, his beef with Weidman ain't got nothing to do with me.
Hey, Eryk, real quick. This was your first win over a former UFC champion. Does that make it a little more special?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, but to be honest, like, I think I beat Machida, but you know, when you fight somebody in their home country or whatever, and, you know, it's always tough to get those wins overseas and whatnot. But, yeah, you know, I felt great in there. This is definitely the biggest win, the biggest name. When I tell my grandchildren about this, I'm not going to say nothing about him being 40. I'm not going to say nothing about him breaking his leg. I'm going to say this is the guy who beat one of the best fighters of all time, and I went out there and finished him. You know, so we'll leave all those details out and just worry about the, you know, the end of it. Cool. Thank you, guys.